What if I told you everything you know about history is missing the wildest parts? The US government has a zombie survival plan. There's a beach that sings like a ghost. And yes, the moon once had a phone number. Strap in. We're about to reveal 10 facts so bizarre, you'll question reality.
What if I told you the US government has a real plan for the Walking Dead? In 2011, the Centers for Disease Control, CDC, dropped a bombshell. CONOP 888, a legitimate training document for a zombie pandemic. At first glance, it seemed like a joke. Agencies don't usually prep for the undead. But buried in the fine print was a stroke of genius. The CDC knew people ignored boring disaster drills. So they framed emergency prep as a zombie survival guide: stock food, water, and meds to escape the horde. The viral campaign worked. Millions downloaded the guide, unaware it was secretly training them for real pandemics. Years later, when COVID-19 hit, those same tips saved lives. The twist? The CDC never expected their joke to become reality. Imagine walking on sand that sings beneath your feet, not metaphorically, but literally. On the windswept shores of Alaska's Singing Beach, something eerie happens. As you tread across the dunes, the sand emits haunting musical notes like a choir of glass violins. Scientists call it acoustic resonance. The secret? Perfectly round quartz crystals, polished by glaciers, vibrate in unison under pressure. But locals tell a darker tale. Centuries ago, the Tlingit people believed these sands were the voices of drowned sailors trapped between worlds. Even today, when storms roll in, the beach's song grows louder, as if warning of the coming tide. Want to hear it? You'll need to trek to Point Bridget State Park. Just don't be surprised if the melody follows your home. Your dumb tweet from 2009? It might be locked in a government archive and you can't see it. In 2010, the Library of Congress made a shocking announcement. Every public tweet ever posted would be preserved forever in their digital vaults. The goal? To capture history in real time from revolutions to memes. But by 2018, reality hit. Twitter's fire hose of 500 million tweets per day overwhelmed them. Today, only select tweets, think, presidents, disasters, cultural milestones are saved. The rest? Lost to the digital void. Here's the kicker: you can't access them. The archive is locked behind strict research gates. So that viral tweet you deleted in shame? It might be officially immortalized. And you'll never know. In this frozen town, you cannot die not because of magic, but because the ground won't let you. In Longyearbyen, Norway, the ground is permafrost, a layer of ice that never thaws. And that's a big problem for corpses. In the 1950s, scientists dug up graves and found perfectly preserved 1918 flu victims. The virus? Still active. Panicked officials banned burials. Today, if you're dying, you're flown to mainland Norway. Even pregnant women must leave because the town has no maternity ward. Why? No one's allowed to be born there either. Meanwhile, in Colma, California, the dead outnumber the living 1,000 to 1. Founded when San Francisco outlawed cemeteries, it's a city of tombstones where zoning laws require burial plots. A teacher told him his flag design was mediocre. 2 years later, it flew over the White House. In 1958, 17-year-old Robert Heft had a homework assignment. Design a 50-star flag for Alaska and Hawaii's upcoming statehood. He spent 12 hours sewing stripes and stars, only for his teacher to scoff, "This is a B at best." But Heft made a bet. If Congress picks it, you change my grade. Months later, his flag was chosen out of 1,500 entries. On July 4th, 1960, it rose over D.C. His teacher kept his word. B upgraded to an A. Heft's design still flies today. Not bad for a mediocre project. The only thing standing between peace and war was A pig. On June 15, 1859, American farmer Lyman Cutler woke to find a British pig rooting in his garden. Enraged, he shot it dead. The pig's owner, a British official, threatened arrest. Cutler replied, "It was eating my potatoes." Soon, 461 U.S. soldiers and 5 British warships faced off on San Juan Island. For 12 years, both sides aimed cannons but never fired. Why? Because their commanders ordered them not to. Finally, Kaiser Wilhelm I was asked to mediate. His ruling, give the island to America. The only casualty? The pig. Today, the Pig War Monument stands as the world's most polite battlefield. What if I told you the moon had a phone number and for a brief moment you could have called it? In the heat of the space race, NASA had a problem. How do astronauts call home? So they did something wild. They gave the moon a phone number, +1 202 358 0001 in the 1960s, and you'd be connected to Mission Control in Houston. The line was meant for emergencies. If an astronaut needed to relay a message fast, they could patch through. But here's the twist. It wasn't a joke. The number was listed in official NASA documents, and for a while, anyone with the right clearance could have called the moon. Today, the line is dead, but imagine if it still worked. In 1962, the US detonated a nuclear bomb in space, and the effects were even crazier than you think. July 9, 1962. The US military launches Starfish Prime, a 1.4 megaton nuclear bomb, into space. It explodes 250 miles above the Pacific, and the results were insane. First, the sky lit up. Hawaii saw an artificial aurora pink, green, and purple ripples dancing in the night. Then, electronics went haywire. Streetlights blew out. Radios died. Satellites fried. The explosion also created a radiation belt so intense, it lingered for years, damaging spacecraft. The lesson? Nuking space is a terrible idea. In 1978, the FBI got a letter claiming NASA erased a day from history. And they actually investigated it. The letter arrived at FBI headquarters in 1978. The writer insisted that NASA had deleted 24 hours from time to cover up a biblical prophecy. The FBI actually looked into it before filing it under crank. But the myth refused to die. Decades later, flat earthers still cite it as proof of a cover-up. The truth? Time doesn't work that way, but the FBI's response? Priceless. At the height of the Cold War, the US almost nuked the moon just to show off. 1958, the US is losing the space race, so they hatch Project A119, blow up a nuke on the moon. The plan? A mushroom cloud visible from Earth. Proof America could hit the Soviets anywhere. Scientists even calculated the best spot for maximum visibility. But cooler heads prevailed. Carl Sagan, part of the team, later admitted it was a terrible idea. The fallout? We might have needed the moon later.
So, the US almost nuked the moon, a high schooler designed the flag, and FBI investigated a day that NASA erased from history. If your brain isn't melted, yet hit that like button and share this with someone who loves weird history, and comment which fact broke you. Oh, and stay curious, because next video we dig up even crazier secrets. See you next one.